Chapter 32. When the people saw how long it was taking Moses to come back down from the mountain, they gathered around Aaron. "Come on," they said, "make us some gods who can lead us. We don't know what happened to this fellow Moses, who brought us here from the land of Egypt." So Aaron said, "Take the gold rings from the ears of your wives and your sons and your daughters, and bring them to me." All the people took the gold rings from their ears and brought them to Aaron. Then Aaron took the gold, melted it down, and molded it into the shape of a calf. When people saw it, they exclaimed, "O Israel, these are the gods who brought you out from the land of Egypt." Aaron saw how excited the people were, so he built an altar in front of the calf. Then he announced, "Tomorrow will be a festival to the Lord." The people got up early the next morning to sacrifice burnt offerings and peace offerings. After this, they celebrated with feasting and drinking, and they indulged in pagan revelry. The Lord told Moses, "Quick, go down the mountain. Your people whom you brought from the land of Egypt have corrupted themselves. How quickly they have turned away from the way I commanded them to live. They have melted down gold and made a calf, and they have bowed down and sacrificed to it. They are saying, 'These are our gods in Israel who brought us out from the land of Egypt.'" Flip the page. Then the Lord said, "I have seen how stubborn and rebellious these people are. Now leave me alone so my fierce anger can blaze against them, and I will destroy them. Then I will make you, Moses, into a great nation." But Moses tried to pacify the Lord his God. "O Lord," he said, "why are you so angry with your own people whom you brought from the land of Egypt with such great power and such a strong hand? Why let the Egyptians say, 'Their God rescued them with the evil intention of slaughtering them in the mountains and wiping them from the face of the earth'? Turn away from your fierce anger. Change your mind about this terrible disaster you have threatened against your people. Remember your servants Abraham, Isaac, and Jacob. You bond yourself with an oath to them, saying, 'I will make your descendants as numerous as the stars of heaven, and I will give them all of this land that I have promised to your descendants, and they will possess it forever.'" So the Lord changed his mind about the terrible disaster and he had threatened to bring on his people. Then Moses turned and went down the mountain. He held in his hands the 2 stone tablets inscribed with the terms of the covenant. They were inscribed on both sides, front and back. These tablets were God's work. The words on them were written by God himself. When Joshua heard the boisterous noise of the people shouting below him, he exclaimed to Moses, "It sounds like war in the camp." But Moses replied, "No, it's not a shout of victory nor the wailing of defeat. I hear the sound of a celebration." When they came near the camp, Moses saw the calf and the dancing, and he burned with anger. He threw the stone tablets to the ground, smashing them at the foot of the mountain. He took the calf they had made and burnt it. He ground it into powder, then threw it in the water, and forced the people to drink it. Finally he turned to Aaron and demanded, "What did these people do to you to make you bring such terrible sin upon them?" "Don't get so upset, my lord," Aaron replied. "You yourself know how evil these people are. They said to me, 'Make us gods who will lead us.' We don't know what happened to this fellow Moses, who brought us here from the land of Egypt. So I told them, 'Whoever had gold jewelry, take it off.' Then when they brought it to me, I simply threw it into the fire, and it came out this calf." Moses saw that Aaron had let the people get completely out of control, much to the amusement of their enemies. He stood at the entrance of the camp and shouted, All of you who are on the Lord's side, come here and join me." All the Levites gathered around him. Moses told them, "This is what the Lord, the God of Israel, says. Each of us take your swords and go back and forth from one end of the camp to the other. Kill everyone, even your brothers, friends, and neighbors." The Levites obeyed Moses' command, and about 3,000 people died that day. Then Moses told the Levites, "Today you have ordained yourselves for the service of the Lord, for you have obeyed him, even though it meant killing your own sons and daughters. Today you have earned a blessing." The next day Moses said to the people, "You have committed a terrible sin, but I will go back to the Lord on the mountain. Perhaps I will be able to obtain forgiveness for your sin." So Moses returned to the Lord and said, "Oh, what a terrible sin these people have committed. They have made gods of gold for themselves. But now if you will only forgive their sins, but if not, erase my name from the record you have written." But the Lord replied to Moses, "No, I will erase the name of everyone who has sinned against me. Now go, lead the people to the place I have told you I told you about. Look, my angel will lead the way before you, and when I come to call the people to account, I will certainly hold them responsible for their sins." Then the Lord sent a great plague upon the people because they have worshipped the calf Aaron had made. Chapter 33. The Lord said to Moses, "Get going, you and the people you brought up from the land of Egypt. Go up to the land I swore to give to Abraham, Isaac, and Jacob. I told them I will give this land to your descendants, and I will send an angel before you to drive out the Canaanites, Amorites, Hittites, Perizzites, and Hivites, and Jebusites. Go up to this land that flows with milk and honey. But I will not travel among you, for you are a stubborn and rebellious people. If I did, I would surely destroy you along the way." When the people heard these stern words, they went out into mourning and stopped wearing their jewelry and fine clothes. For the Lord had told Moses to tell them, "You are a stubborn and rebellious people. If I were to travel with you for even a moment, I would destroy you. Remove your jewelry and fine clothes while I decide what to do with you." So from the time they left Mount Sinai, the Israelites wore no jewelry, no fine clothes. It was Moses' practice to take the tent of meeting and set it up some distance from the camp. Everyone who wanted to make a request of the Lord would go to the tent of meeting outside the camp. Whenever Moses went out to the tent of meeting, all the people would get up and stand at the entrance of their own tents. They would all watch Moses until he disappeared inside. As he went into the tent, the pillar of cloud would come down and hover at its entrance while the Lord spoke with Moses. When the people saw the cloud standing at the entrance of the tent, they would stand and bow down in front of their tents. Inside the tent of meeting, the Lord would speak to Moses face to face, as one speaks to a friend. Afterward, Moses would return to the camp, but the young man who assisted him, Joshua son of Nun, would remain behind in the tent of meeting. One day Moses said to the Lord, "You have been telling me, 'Take these people up to the promised land,' but you haven't told me whom you will send with me. You have told me, 'I know you by name, and I look favorably on you.' If it is true that you look favorably on me, let me know your ways so I may understand you more fully and continue to enjoy your favor. And remember that this nation is your very own people." The Lord replied, "I will personally go with you, Moses, and I will give you rest. Everything you will be fine for you." Then Moses said, "If you don't personally go with us, don't make us leave this place. How will anyone know that you look favorably on me and your people, if you don't go with us? For your presence among us sets your people and me apart from all other people on the earth." The Lord replied to Moses, "I will indeed do what you have asked, and I will look favorably on you, and I know you by name." Moses responded, "Then show me your glorious presence." The Lord replied, "I will make all my goodness pass before you, and I will call out my name, Yahweh, before you. For I will show mercy among anyone I choose, and I will show compassion to anyone I choose. But you may not look directly at my face, for no one may see me and live." The Lord continued, "Look, stand near me on this rock as my glorious presence passes by. I will hide you in the crevice of the rock and cover you with my hand until I have passed by. Then I will remove my hand and let you see me from behind, but my face will not be seen." Okay, that was our 2 chapters for the day. So kind of just thinking about this last chapter, it was a lot about Moses talking to God again in the he called it the tent of meeting. So I'm thinking that tent, so the meeting of him and the Lord, and maybe when the Lord's not there, it's him and some other people, like kind of like the disputes type thing, where if there were small disputes, they would go to the smaller, I guess, cops, you could say, at that time. And then if it was a bigger dispute, it would actually go to Moses, and he would solve it with the help of the Lord. So I think that's what that tent of meeting would be. I'm not completely sure about that. I think it's cool how, just thinking about it, if I was Moses and I got to sit or just stand next to God, I think that would be awesome. Just thinking about it, like, how awesome would it be just to stand next to your Creator, the person or the person or thing that created you, which is God, and you're just standing next to him. I think that's awesome. But anyways, so again, with the chapter 32, it's a thing that I like about reading the Bible page or cover to cover, and a thing that I kind of don't like about it, but I don't know. Because when I was taught about the 10 Commandments, I knew that there was the calf and the things like that, but I was never taught that he had the other people kill their own tribe. Like it says on chapter 32, verse 27, Moses told them, "This is what the Lord, the God of Israel, says. Each of you take your swords and go back and forth from one end of the camp to the other. Kill everyone, even your brothers, friends, and neighbors." The Levites obeyed Moses' command, and about 3,000 people died that day. And then he tells them, "Today you have ordained yourself for the service of the Lord, for you obeyed him even though it meant killing your own sons and brothers. Today you have earned a blessing." So that entire part, I did not even know that part, and then the part where they couldn't wear their jewelry and fine clothing because God was just so mad at them. I would be too if I gave somebody life and then they just disrespected me completely. You know, kind of like God was. But I don't know. I think it's kind of a sad thing because they killed their own families and friends and things like that, just because. I shouldn't say just because, but it's because they didn't follow what God said, and they were what is it called? They were praising the calf. They were worshiping the calf. That's what it's called. And I think that's crazy. And I don't know how much 3,000 people was then. I don't know how big the camp was, but I'm thinking at least a fourth of the people maybe was 3,000. So it might be more. It might be only a tenth of the people, but to me that just seems like a good number. So then that would mean there's about 1,200 people in that, I guess, whole entire camp, roughly. So that's still a lot of people. 3,000 people, and probably in one day. That's a lot of deaths. That's like World War II type deaths, but I don't know. So that was a lot of what chapter 32 and 34 was about. This was kind of short. I just needed to make it short for personal reasons and time wise. Um, but I hope you guys enjoyed. Like, comment, subscribe, and I will see you guys all tomorrow. Bye.
And seek you